Hi, the Elven Wizard or Aaron Pine. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to share in this video with you more in-depth understanding, the wisdom and some frameworks of how the Tree of Life concept works, how you can start to implement this into understanding yourself, your life, and all the different aspects of your life, as well as connect more deeply, with greater clarity and precision with the other dimensions or aspects of yourself that are beyond your human experience, and then bring that in. So I've created a new Tree of Life map here. I'm excited to share with you. This is sort of the first rendition of it to get you going. So without further ado, let's jump in. I'm going to bring up my Photoshop palette here behind the scenes of one of my favorite programs here. Again, Photoshop, we're going to be looking at this Tree of Life. So I've created a little more modernized, clean version of it here just to make it easier for me to express some of the concepts here I want to share with you around the Tree of Life. So we're going to zoom in here. And here we go. Okay, so the Tree of Life for me is a powerful concept. I'm going to give you a little bit of background. It's been found in nearly every mythology, culture around the world on pretty much every continent. It has different formats and different descriptions in different cultures and different religions and mythologies. However, there's a lot of commonality. There's this idea that the Tree of Life is at the sort of core, at the innermost point of the entirety of everything. And everything that exists is held within its branches and its roots, and it's all connected. So it shows us the interconnected nature of all reality outside of us and within us, and allows us to see how we can separate them into different experiences or realms or dimensions, if you will, and yet they're all interconnected. So just like a tree has different leaves and fruit and branches and roots and other things going on, the bark, all these different aspects, they're different pieces, yet they're all interconnected. They're all nourishing and supportive of the whole. And they're all holographic of the whole. For example, within the pattern of a leaf, it's holographic of the whole tree. There's a similar pattern, there's a similar structure, right? An oak leaf holds the pattern of the entire oak tree within it. An oak seed, an acorn, holds the wholeness of a tree within it. It's unique, but it holds the whole within it. That's the sort of fractal principles of the universe. So the Tree of Life is this conceptual framework that, like I said, has been found in pretty much every tradition around the world. And that's what really struck me about it. It's like, okay, there's something important here if it's pretty much everywhere. Some cultures have it more apparent at the front, and some more it's hidden in the background. And so I want to dive into some of the mysteries that I've discovered in my research, and also that have come to me as I explore and work with this framework myself. So some of the core principles, like I said, this fractal nature, it's all interconnected, it's all similar, it's all overlain, right? One branch is representational of the whole tree. It's representational of the branches previous to it, right? So as a branch grows and new ones sprout off of it, they're inspired, they're fueled, they're energized by the branch before it, okay? Everything supports the whole. Each leaf nourishes the whole. Each root nourishes the whole. If one part has been damaged, it affects the whole. We're going to be talking about that and how to heal those things. So, right, we've all have been damaged. We all had damaging or traumatic experiences at some point in our life in some form or another. So if that part is damaged and not resolved, it's not providing nourishment to the rest of the tree, right? So just like a leaf gets damaged or cut, it's not providing its full potential to the entire tree, yet the tree can go in and heal that. And we're going to be talking about that. Through that is bringing in that presence. We heal that through bringing in the presence, bringing in life force from the rest of the tree to support that one individual area. The tree is continually growing, expanding, and renewing and revealing more of itself. Just like a tree in nature, they continue to grow, new branches come out, new things are created. It's an ever-growing process. And of course, the tree then will eventually die. There's some trees that have been around for thousands of years, but they eventually can die and give birth to new trees in that process. Okay. And then the other important thing here is we can bring our awareness to any part of the tree as well as the entire tree. So what that means, well, the tree represents all of you, everything that is you, everything you're connected with, whether you are consciously aware of it or not, is within the tree of life that is basically within you, that you are part of. It is the map of all that you are. And we can move our awareness, our focus, when we have proper understanding through meditation, into these other areas of the tree. It's all part of the same network, if you will. And you can see this very kind of digital network-like with nodes and things like that. So it's a very similar concept. We can move ourselves to these different nodes. For example, another analogy of that is perhaps as a website, right? A website is created and it's on the internet, but it's stored on a server. And so if we're going to a website from somebody else, we use our computer to travel the network, the internet, to get to that server, to that website. So kind of same thing. All these are different nodes within your tree of life that can be accessed through meditation. We'll be going into that. And then some of my platforms, innerrealmsjourney.com, you're going to get to learn how to explore the tree of life, or some of my other trainings or one-on-one to help you start to connect into these other realms, access their wisdom, information, bring healing to those that have been damaged, and bring wholeness to the tree. All right, so let me go on the next piece here. So most of the time in most different mythologies, the tree is kind of separated into three main sections. You've got the roots at the bottom, of course, the trunk, and then the branches at the top. And in general, the roots represent the past, the trunk is the present moment, and the branches are our future. Now, there's a little more context here I want to give you. So on the roots, like I said, it's our past. So it's our own personal past, where we've been, what we've gone through, our journey through life. It's also goes beyond that to our ancestry, our family, our culture. All that came before us that was infused into us, right, as a child, both genetically and our imprints as a child, what we were brought up with. And that's carried with us, right? It's, even if it wasn't ideal, it's still part of our roots, even if there's challenges or, not so nice stuff there, or beautiful stuff, hopefully too. That's all part of our past that nourishes the tree of life, right? It's what we're rooted in, what we know, and what we're expanding from. We're growing from our roots and our past. So it's our upbringing. It can also be what we've buried, right? It's what can be unconscious that we've hidden away or tucked away. If we've had traumatic experiences, a lot of the times, especially as a kid, we don't know how to process that, and that stuff gets sort of buried and hidden away. So some of those things can be within that. That's what a lot of people call the shadow, right? The unconscious things that can be within the roots. It's darkness, and not necessarily darkness as in some kind of evil to be avoided, but darkness of what we've lost, what we've forgotten, what we've hid away. It can be those memories. It can be things that are darker aspects of our nature, of our beingness, of being human and being many other things. We are very multidimensional, and even if you've been perfect in this life, likely in other lives or other incarnations, or you may carry things that are not always positive and nice and beautiful, and that's in there, and that's okay. Obviously, we want to continue to strive to be more in wholeness and balance and in harmony, but we have to also love and accept where we've been and what's within those roots, even if there's some darkness there. When we can integrate that, that's when we can shift that darkness and make something positive and expansive out of it. It's also our connection to others built on past experiences, right? We all have different relationships in our lives, and those are built upon our experiences with that person, with those people, from family to friends to romantics to business partners, whatever. We've established relationships, experiences, interactions, all that. So that builds the roots and foundations of our experiences. Okay, so that's the roots. The trunk is about our present experience. It's our current experience, our current focus, our current reality. Like right now, making this video, this is my current experience and reality. So I'm harnessing all of my energy from my roots and my branches into this moment. It's the balancing of it all. It's the balancing of the spiritual and the physical, the ancestral and the now, right? It's the in between it all. It's being it's growing and being nourished by everything, right? Our present life is founded by our roots and is also expanding by the nourishment of our branches and our visions and our goals, which are up in the branches. It's a balance of light and dark, the above and the below. The branches up top, right, are our future, our dreams, our goals. It's sort of the celestial realms, the heavenly realms. It's the light, right? The branches up in the sky. It's the upper worlds. It's often where we are kind of driven to move to. How do we build a better life for ourselves and for the world around us? What's our vision and our goal for ourselves and where we can go and what we can do? And so we're moving and expanding into that. All right. So that's kind of the past, present, future, the roots, trunk, branches explanation or foundation of this. Okay, we're going to keep going deeper here. So within those are different realms or different dimensions. It's using the tree as a sort of a analogy of all the different experiences, realities, dimensions that are potential, that are on this great tree of life. Just like, as I said, there's the roots. It's like the roots, the tree branches, the flowers, the leaves. They're each their own unique expression or experience or reality. So there's really no limit to what those realities could be. And so I've listed out some here to kind of start opening your mind to what that might look like. So there's the spiritual dimensions, right? So in a lot of the ancient tree of life mythologies and concepts, there's these different worlds or dimensions, and many of them hold different celestial beings, gods and goddesses, magical beings, dragons and fairies, and the great hall of the gods and the goddesses and the underworlds and the ancestral spirits. They're all sort of mapped out. It's sort of like the cosmic map of where they're all at on the tree of life. And usually our earthly experience is often in the middle, right? Our present experience. So all these different beings, these mythical beings, are on the tree of life. And in my Inner Realms Journey meditation platform, I take you to these different realms where you can start to connect with them, understand them, learn from them, and bring their wisdom into your life. We've got your incarnational expressions. So this, let's dive into this a little bit. So I'm going to pick just a branch here for an example. Let's go with this reddish one here. So let's say that, and I know I said that symbolically this is your present moment. This is where your energy is at. Ultimately, it's also the core of your being, the core of your spirit that is timeless and eternal is in the middle. And that energy is then being expressed out and experienced into all these different realms. So this is the eternal now as well, the eternal you, the you that is timeless. And it's expressing and experiencing through all these different branches and roots. Now, for example, say this red one is your experience in the realm of earth, in the physical realm of earth, okay? So I want you to imagine that this is what you might call your soul, your avatar, as I like to call it, that's come in and it's now entering into the realm of earth. And as it comes in here, it picks up the codes, the program, the platform, the operating system, right? The guidelines of what it is to experience the earth realm or the earth dimension. It's like entering into that game. And right, every game, you got to learn the rules, you got to set up the board and all the pieces and the controllers and whatever else. This is like your entry, right? From there, you begin to sort of fracture out as different branches, right, if you will, into the different experiences. Now, this you could look at this as your lifetimes, right? Here's one lifetime, and it wasn't too complex. Here's another lifetime, and that's your experience. Say that was, I don't know, ancient Egypt. Here you were maybe in ancient South America somewhere, right? And then some of these become more complex. Here you are coming into more modern day, and you had some other sub incarnations, and maybe this other one over here, and here you were in Spain, and here you're in Italy, right? It's uniquely fractured out your essence, your soul essence, coming into these different incarnations, right? And here's some more over here in this red. I'm just kind of focusing on the red one here for the moment. So your essence gets sort of fractured out across these different incarnations, different timelines, and maybe it's even more complex. Maybe here you were a dolphin, and here you were a bear, and here you were a tree, right? The different queendoms of life here in the earth plane, and you're getting to experience all these. Now, generally, we're only aware of one at a time. Like, okay, here's me modern day. This is all I'm kind of focused on, but I'm actually all of this and all this whole tree. Now, generally, my perception is just focused on this one. So through meditation, through some of the work I teach you more in depth here, you can begin to access and begin to understand and implement and integrate all of this whole branch, and then even beyond, right? And even into these other branches. So your soul comes in, and then it gets fractured into these different expressions. Not every realm is complex. Obviously, the earth realm is very complex. There's a lot of layers here and options. Other ones, maybe like this one, aren't as complex. And it's up to your individual soul. Some souls came in and just like, just a few incarnations and I'm good. Some come in and like, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to go with this. I want to check this out. And this sounds good over here. And give me that. This, it's like going to a buffet. Somebody's like, some people might just want one or two things. Somebody's like, give me a little bit of everything. I want the full works, right? It's your game. It's your journey. You get to choose what your expressions are. And ultimately, this tree of life helps you to understand that and start to connect with them all so that you can come back into more of a greater wholeness and bring that essence, the mana from each experience into your current day reality. Where our essence, our soul, our avatar is going on these journeys to collect wisdom, collect mana, understanding that we can bring back to here and now, or creating in the moment. We're harnessing all that we are and bringing it in here, and then be able to connect with all that we are and bring that in here. Now, another layer of this, right, another fractal dimension of this is even in this life. So say we're now moving this branch, zooming in, if you will, to here you are currently. Here you are, 2022, or whenever you're watching this video. And these are all the different aspects of your current life. This could be your childhood. This could be you as a teenager. This could be you as an adult. Here you are as elderly, and everywhere in between. Really, every moment becomes its own realm, its own tree. Every experience is its own realm. It's its own leaf. Down to the moment, these can be fractaled out. Now, when we've had something traumatic, say this was you when you were 5 years old and something, intense happened to you. This may be heavily damaged, right? At 5-year-old, you didn't know how to process it, what to do with it, and this just got damaged. Well, now this 5-year-old self and its damage is not nourishing and potentially draining and affecting the rest of it. Even if everything else is healthy, it's got this one piece that's dead. Usually that's not the case. Usually if something happens 5, it also maybe we had some experience 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we got something 13 and 14. And, usually we all have a bit of damage from different things, right? So how do we work with that? Well, even if you have these, that's not all of you. Remember, you're this entire tree. There's all of this that is you. So we can start to move into this wholeness and bring in support to help nourish these damaged areas. And trees actually do this, from my understanding, especially also in a network of trees, they support each other. So you can actually direct energy from these other areas to nourish these, and that we move the consciousness or the energy of the whole tree into those damaged areas, which brings love and compassion and healing and alchemy to those. The more in depth of that's more in depth than I'm going to do in this video. My one-on-one work training in a realm's journey, that's going to help you go deeper into that process to start really working with that and transforming those things. But you can start to see how every aspect of your life is connected to the whole. And you can also zoom this into just right now in your day-to-day life, that each aspect of your life is a realm, right? You've got present life, right? You've got this could be your work. This might be your home life. This might be your dating life, right? This might be your side hobbies, right? Every piece of your life, every part of your life is part of the whole tree. Now, they may seem more disconnected. You might have your works over here, and it's very separate from your home, and your home's very separate from your relationships, right? And everything. So they're all separate. Or for me, mine's all become more and more connected. So my work plays into my relationships and in my hobbies, all for me ties together. They've all connected, and that's my synergy. It may or may not be like that for you. You get to explore that, but you can begin to start making connections, and it's really powerful to start mapping them out in this way. And you can even, just sketch it out and start to make that map for yourself. And then again, this can even zoom in further. Okay, this is my work, and then these are the different aspects of my work: marketing and development and research and outreach and finances, and right, all the different aspects. Everything can be infinitely mapped out on this tree of life, and you start to see that bigger connection. So that is the introduction overview of the tree of life. Of course, if you want to go further with this and learn how to apply this in your life, I work with individuals one-on-one. And we've got the innerrealmsjourney.com platform. That's kind of the do-it-yourself. You'll start to explore the realms. You'll start to understand the tree of life more deeply. Or you can reach out to me at aaronpine.com, where I can work with you one-on-one and help you start to understand these dimensions, find healing in them to empower you in your day-to-day life. This can transform every aspect of your life. And with that, I'm going to show you one little other fun thing. Is the meridians. Now, some of you may be familiar with this to some degree. This is the ancient sort of Asian system of acupuncture, right? In the meridians, these are energy pathways through the body with different points. This is what acupuncturists use, right? And other healing modalities. Well, notice some similarities here. You've got these lines, you've got these nodes, you've got these points. Your energy system is a humanized form of the tree of life within you. And these meridians are pathways, energy channels within your system that become clogged up and damaged from experiences, from stress, from trauma, from food, from environmental factors. All this stuff affects those chi lines, which affect your physical vitality and health. So many people go to acupuncture to open those up. Well, these channels also correlate with the tree of life. And as you have damage on a realm, it affects those chi channels. As we open up these realms, that more of the life force from these realms can run through these channels and stimulate healing at every level. I've been studying energy healing modalities, many different types, for about 20 years now. And this is my synthesis of all those into this larger framework that healing can occur as we open our access and connections within the tree of life. It allows that energy, that life force, the mana, to flow through our chi, our energy channels, and open up our physical body and open up healing in our system. So powerful work here. All right, so that is the tree of life. I hope you begin to connect with this concept. It's big, it's universal, it's cosmic, and it's unique to you. You have your own unique expression of the tree of life within yourself. And it's my honor to share this and to help you connect with that and begin to navigate the tree of life for yourself, for your own understanding, wisdom, and support you in every area of your life. So thank you again for joining me. Again, I'm Aaron Pine, the Elven Wizard from the Tree of Life. It is an honor to share this with you. And feel free to reach out and drop any questions below. Like, subscribe, and stay in touch. May the magic of all the realms across the Tree of Life begin to flow through you. Until next time, thank you so much.